Well, good morning. We have a tiny group here in the ballroom today. We're hoping that there are many more of you out there on YouTube watching this live performance. I want to welcome you all to the December general meeting of the Las Palmas Grand Residents Association. I'm going to introduce new board members to you. This is their first meeting, so we're excited that we have these new folks up at the table. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and if you're at home, you can recite it with us as well. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have to take this off because I'm breathing in my face here. Just a reminder for those that are here, we have the 50-50 drawing. That is $1 for a ticket and $2 for 3 tickets. And if you brought a little cash, we'd love it if you would contribute. And the other thing is, for those of you who stay to the end, we have 3 door prizes to distribute. So the odds are pretty good today. We only have a few people, so you stand a good chance to win a door prize. First, what I want to do is introduce, or let each board member introduce themselves, and we have some new members today, so I'm hoping you'll recognize them out in the community and thank them for stepping up, volunteering, and putting in the time, because we do put in a lot of time on the board. So my name is Margaret Jacoby. I was here last year as well. I'm your president for the coming year. And I'm glad to see your smiling faces, and though I can't see you out there in YouTube land, I'm glad that you're out there, so thank you. And I'm going to start at my left over here on the end. My left.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, and I'm the secretary.
That's Pam Williams, and she's our secretary. That's okay.
Walt Smiles, I'm the treasurer, and it's the second year on the board.
And if you didn't hear him, that's Walt Smiles, and he's our treasurer, and he's the second year on the board.
Sue Smith,
Sue,
first year on the board.
this is Sue Smith. She's got a nice, soft, gentle voice, but she's a powerful lady. We're glad to have her on the board. She is our second vice president, and this is her first year on the board.
Peggy Marcone, this is my second year on the board, but I was secretary last year, and I'm first vice president this year.
Okay. If you didn't hear her, she's Peggy Marcone. She was reelected this year. She is our first vice president for the coming year, and last year she was our secretary. So that's everybody. The first item of business is the minutes from the last meeting, November 5th, which was our election meeting. And those were posted on our website and sent out to our email list. So we dispense with the reading of the minutes. Can I have a motion to adopt the minutes as they were posted? Lois, thank you. Second? Dan, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect, thank you. So I skipped over introduction. I went out of order here. I apologize for that. But if you have an agenda, you will see the names of the folks listed on the agenda. Our next item is treasurer's report. Walt?
Okay, thank you. The balance as of 11/5 of 2020 was $213.05. We had $10 in expenses for gift cards for a balance of $203.05, and we had income from the raffle of $16, leaving a balance as of 12/3 of $219.05.
What was the beginning now? I'm sorry, I didn't check.
That's okay.
No, all right.
Can we have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Dave Eason, thank you. Second to that motion? Bob Williams, thank you. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Perfect, thank you. Thank you, Walt. Old business. I'm going to reverse the order. I'm going to reverse the order of this just a little bit. And Walt, would you talk to us about Neighborhood Watch? I think Peggy Gabber is not here today. So Walt is the liaison from the board to Neighborhood Watch. So Walt, if you would give us a little update?
Okay. Thank you, Margaret. I've been in touch with Peggy, and due to some unseen circumstances, she hasn't been able to keep up with it lately, but she's now getting back in full board. And she's putting a list of all the volunteers and that together in the different locations throughout the community. I've got her email number. If you're interested, you can email her your name, lot number, and if you could, just put the street address on there so that she could either get back in touch with you or that. I'm going to be meeting with her sometime next week to pick this up, but her email address is peggret7@gmail.com, all lowercase. So it looks like she's going to be going full board here fairly soon. So, any questions?
Well, could you repeat her?
Yeah, her email address is P, like in Paul, EGGRET7@gmail.com. And it's all lowercase. So, and like, again, I should be meeting with her sometime next week, and we can get this thing going at a little bit faster pace than what it has been. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Walt. And I hope that some of you who are out there watching us on YouTube, if you haven't volunteered yet for Neighborhood Watch, I'm hoping you will get in touch with Peggy. If you missed her email address, you can always send the board an email and we will forward it to her. And again, the board's email is LP, like Peter, GRA board @gmail.com. So you can send us any information and we'll get it on to Peggy. We have, is Shirley here? Shirley Ann? I can't tell who people are behind their mask, but Shirley Ann Crane has volunteered to help us with putting together a newsletter. We're going to try it quarterly. I think we've mentioned this before. And we want individuals from the community to submit little items that would make of interest to members of the community. So she's put together a little form, which is here, and it will be up on the website, and I will email it out to our email list. But she is asking for you to submit things like a current story, something like, something happened to me on my way to, or I saw this at this event, or when I went to the mailbox, I saw this. The bocce ball game the other night was beautiful, was so much fun. A recipe that you want to share with the group, a poem that you might find inspirational, a quote or a joke, anything like that. Maybe you have some fun thing in your history, in your background, that might be of interest to your community members, something we don't know about you. Your grandchild graduated magna cum laude from Harvard, whoa. That would be something fun for the community to read. So we have this little form. We're going to post it up on the website. I have some here for those who are in attendance who might be so inclined to submit something today or, whenever. And we can email them to Shirley Ann. Her email address is on the form. Or again, anything like that you can send to the board and we will get it to the right person. So just want to keep you up to date on that. The open items list, that is the list that we go over with management at our board meeting, which will be next week. Anytime you submit one of those forms of resident concerns, questions, compliments, anything like that, we put that on this sheet and we take it up with management at our meeting. One thing I do want to make clear, I had someone be very upset that they did not get a personal response to the form that they submitted. I cannot give personal responses to these forms. The idea is for us to take your information, your question, your concern to the management team. And the concern is probably affecting the entire community. If you send me a concern that is specific to you and your property, I will respond back to you individually. But when it is something that involves the whole community, I can't do that. I have to put them all together. And that's why I give this report at the open meeting, to tell you what happened with some of those concerns that were brought up. So I kind of just want to make that clear. I don't want anybody to be disappointed that you're not getting a personal response. So here's an update. We talked about the security cameras. We've talked about those ever since July when we had all those incidents in the community. The cameras are installed. I'm sure you see them at all the gates. They're here at the clubhouse, they're at the pool, they're in all those areas. The guards can monitor those cameras from their position at the front gate. We had a question about how long those tapes would be kept. And the Wi-Fi from the front gate to the office was scheduled for completion mid to late November. And I haven't gotten an update as to whether that's finished or not yet. But there are 18 cameras in all around the community. There's even one in the kitchen and there's one in the lobby. And it was anticipated at that point that the tapes would be retained for about 30 days. So if there were any incident within that 30-day period that the police needed to have access to the tapes, we would have them for 30 days. So we will follow this up at the next meeting to find out if that's the case and have the monitors been installed and has the Wi-Fi situation been resolved. So we will follow that up. Shredding, we're still looking at a shredding day that Activities is working on for the spring. We're hoping that, things will calm down a lot more and we'll be able to, get the community out. I know I have a bunch of shredding sitting in the laundry room ready to go. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we're going to get a shredding date. Stickers on the resident cars, those will be coming very soon. And my guess is when we go to sign our leases, we may have those stickers at that point for next year. So leases are being signed right here in the month of December. I think you've all gotten an email or some communication with when you would be scheduled to come and sign your lease and all the information that you need to bring with you. So landscaping, okay, so landscaping has taken a beating this year. The summer was so hot, we had no rain. You can look all around the park and see so many plants that have, really taken a beating. Just remember that you have until January, April 1st, to get your dead and dying plants out and get them replaced with new plants. All your replacements need to have an ARB form completed and submitted to the office. Now, what I learned yesterday was that aside from Christie having a list of approved plants, which you can get at any time, so if you don't want to replace your lantana with another lantana, you can see what choices you have to make the substitution. And the other thing is, she has plot plans for all the properties, and you can mark on the plot plan where you are putting this new plant, which would make it easier than all of that language that you have to fill out to get an ARB approval. They're trying to streamline the process for us, but we will have to get approval for replacement of any of our plants, and especially palm trees. If you lost your palm trees, that's a big replacement. So please check in with the office before you make your decisions on replacing your plants, and so you're not held up with approval or not having the right paperwork in, because, people ride around and they will look and see who's replaced what and is it the right plant. So please do that. Check in with the front office. This one's difficult, but I must say, I've received more complaints this week about the rent increase. We've taken this up with management a minimum of 3 times, right? 3 times. The same information is given to us. The expenses have not decreased. In fact, they've increased for the management team since the COVID pandemic has hit us all. They've had to do a lot of sign placements. They've had to get hand sanitizers. They had to do all kinds of things to keep us safe here. Nobody was laid off from any of the staff. The plants, the grass, everything was taken care of with the staff. The bocce ball courts, the tennis courts, we have new pickleball courts. All those things continued. Nobody lost their job. We were told that a survey of similar communities to ours was taken around September, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and the average increase in rents in all of the parks similar to ours was between $18 and $43 a month. Besman believes that our $20 increase falls right in that middle range. They don't think that it's, off the mark. They think that it is fair, and with all the landscaping that has to be replaced, again, look at all those queen palms that have to be replaced, that this money is not for the bottom line profit. It is to pay for all the expenses that have been and will continue to be incurred. So, LPG has a rent subsidy program. If you are in a position where that would be helpful to you to maintain your property here, please contact Christie or Corinne, and they will help you with the rent subsidy program. I think I speak for the board. We are not going to entertain any more complaints about the rate increase. It's not going to do you any good to complain to us. It's not going to do us any good to take that to management. So if you still feel inclined to fill out a form and talk about the rent increase, we will not be bringing that to the board. We'll file it away with a no action. So I just want you all to understand that. It's not that we think you're wrong in asking, it's that we're not going to get any different response. So we're going to move on to things that we can make a difference with, some things that we can get some positive action out of management, and things that will help the community. So I hope you all will understand that. Okay, safety and speeding, that's another, monthly thing that we bring up. It was acknowledged that the problems in the area of Palm Circle, right there, by the mailbox, that people come around that curve pretty quickly. So we've proposed, thanks to a resident who submitted this, that we've proposed installing a stop sign or a white line or something to slow people down on that curve. So that's been presented to Todd and the maintenance group, and I'm hoping that Tuesday we'll get a positive response, that they'll really take a serious look at that and do something about that particular area within the park. The gym, we still get complaints about the gym. I want to just clarify, they still are maintaining the one person per time, when you make your reservation, one person, unless you are in the same household. If you're in the same household, 2 of you can go in at the same time. If there's 3 of you in the same household, the 3 of you can go in at the same time. You just need to let the office know when you make your reservation, hey, my wife and I are coming up. My roommate and I are coming up. My sister and I live in the same house. We're coming, at this time. So they're maintaining that one person at a time, except if you are in the same household. Okay? I think that's it on that one. We had a resident indicate that she was coming out of the pool area and was by the locker rooms, and she saw a vendor. She wasn't sure who he was or what company he might have been with, but he was using the restroom there. And she stopped him and said, "This is for residents only." And the vendor told her, "Oh no, I was given permission." Well, we brought that up because we were all concerned about that as well. And we were told that no permission is ever given to vendors to use the restrooms in the pool or the gym area, the locker room area. So just keep that in mind. If you see someone has gone in there and you don't recognize them, you think they're a vendor and they're not a staff member, get information if you can. Who are they? Who do they work for? And then let the office know that. And they will contact the company that the vendor works for and put a stop to that. So we appreciate the person who made that observation. Okay, I think that's it, unless I've missed something. Have I missed? Okay, so we don't ask you for motions on that. That's just a report out from our activities. But I will entertain any questions on that when we come to the open part of the meeting. So think about it. If you have questions or concerns or comments about anything that was in that report, let me know. New business? Is there new business from anyone? The only new business I have is that hopefully if you're on the parks email list, you got a message from the activities office about the new activities. This was sent out November 19th, but there's a note on here that the events that were previously canceled, you can get a refund for your tickets. We've had a lot of complaints about people saying they're not getting refunds or holding my money. Refunds are available. Put your tickets for that event in an envelope. Identify yourself, your lot number, your phone number, who you are. Put your tickets in that envelope for activities. You can drop them off in activities. You could put it in the rent box that's outside. You can put it, give it to the front office. And if you're concerned about coming into the clubhouse, mail them. Mail them to activities at LPG, and you will get the refund for your tickets. So I know it's been a long time coming, and I know Activities has been working on how to best make those refunds available to folks who bought tickets in good faith before the COVID pandemic hit us all. So there's a way to do that. And if you have any questions, give Activities a call, and I'm sure they'll help you with that. Okay. That is all. Other board members have any other new business that you'd like to bring up?
Just one, I know on the Carole King show. On the Carole King show, they postponed that. They did not cancel it, so it's going to be rescheduled at a later date, so they're not giving refunds on that one.
Okay, good, thank you.
So, okay, any questions?
Thank you for that information. So if an event has been rescheduled, I guess you have your tickets already for the rescheduled event. Okay. Now, we open up for resident questions or comments. And once again, if you have a concern that impacts the entire park, we have forms up here. I brought forms with me. You can fill it out now. You could take it home. You could email it. You could put it in the mail, we have a mailbox. Our mailbox here is number 666. So feel free, if you'd like to drop it in the mail. I know, it's like, who gave us that number? But anyway, the microphone is open. We're happy, and if you have something positive, happy, uplifting, please share that with us. We need a little cheer. I know Christmas is coming. For a lot of us, it's you know, going to be a little bit difficult, like Thanksgiving was. We can't be with our families. Many of us are Zooming. I Zoom with my grandchildren. I have a daughter in Australia. We have kids in Las Vegas. We have kids in Virginia. We have different time zones, and all, but we work on getting together so that we can all see each other. And I'm hoping that if you have that capability, that you'll do that, share that time with your family. So we're looking for happy things too. Microphone is open.
Friends of ours, I just want to let you know what kind of community we live in. Friends of ours from Rochester, New York decided to move to Mesa, Arizona. They called us to ask if there was something available near us, and there happened to be one. Sight unseen, they bought it. They saw the video online, that was it. And they moved here. 5.5 weeks after that phone call, they arrived. But their stuff, all their household stuff, was supposed to get here a week after they got here. So the gentleman is handicapped, and he would need a walker. So my friend called, and she said, you know, I don't know how to get a walker. Do you know where I could get a walker so that when they flew here, when we get there, he'll have a walker? So while we were talking, I posted something on our Friends and Neighbors site on Facebook, and within the 2 minutes, I think it was, I had 3 offers of walkers that people within the community were offering up for them. A couple days later, she said she really wished that there was some way to get a comfortable chair for her husband to sit in until their stuff got here. So again, I went to Friends and Neighbors, and I posted that on there. Does anybody have a comfy chair that we could borrow or that they didn't want? And again, within a few hours, I had 2 offers. We did take one, and he is sitting comfortably in his comfy chair. When they got here, they had problems with their hot water heater. The house had been vacant for a while, and when they turned on the hot water, a horrendous smell filled the house. And boom, just like that, we had 3 people offering assistance and telling us how to take care of that, and they took care of everything, and that was fixed. They had trouble with their Cox connection, and so again, I made a request, and boom, someone came over and was there for 2 hours trying to help them set up their Cox equipment, and found out later that it was because it had been disconnected improperly. But it was the willing spirit, you know, that she had shown, you know, to come and help. And I'll tell you, it has made a fantastic impression on these people, especially coming from New York, because things like that don't really kind of happen there like that. People are very private in New York. So they just said they just feel so comfortable and they feel so welcomed here. And I thought, that's our community, and that's one reason I think why I love it so much here and why I wanted to be on the board, to make sure that it always stayed that way. So I was happy.
That's a really happy story, thank you. And I think that many of us might be able to share a similar kind of story. I know that when I look at the Facebook page, I see people asking for recommendations for a dentist, for a this or that, or the other thing, and there's always people responding with good information and good guidance. So that's a really useful tool, and I think that if you don't go onto that Facebook page, maybe you want to give it a try. Okay? Thank you, Peggy. I really appreciate that. And I hope that your friends stay a long, long time and we get to meet them when things open up. Yes. So, anybody else? Yes, Miss Pam.
I just wanted to say the Monday night food trucks is awesome. We've tried most of them, and it's really worth coming out and trying them. You know, it's a positive thing. We don't have to cook, and they're usually on time, and so far, we've enjoyed all of them.
Excellent, thanks for that reminder. If you're not taking advantage of the food trucks, please do. They have a variety of types of food. The last one was fry bread, and I like that, and that was really good. And everybody that I know that, not everybody, there were one or two people who didn't like it, but for the most part, for the most part, and there's something for everybody. You know, there's a burger truck, and there was like a barbecue truck, and I don't know what's coming up next week. Does anybody know what's coming up on Monday? I'm sorry? Somebody take their mask down and tell me. Oh, chicken coop, okay. I didn't get that at all. I'm a chicken girl, I'll be there. I'll be there. So it's in the activities list. It's probably listed in the newspaper the next few weeks, which trucks are going to be there. And it's very easy to order in advance, and that's what you want to do. You want to order in advance. You don't want to stand in line waiting. You know, there's an app for your phone. You can go on your computer and get it too. And there's usually a phone number for each of the trucks, but they prefer that you use the app and make your orders in advance. You pay for them in advance, and then you just go up at the time they tell you. They'll text you that, hey, your order's ready, come on up, and you can get served easily. And Pam says we don't have to cook, and you know what? We don't have to do the dishes because we can just toss those things in the trash. So if you haven't taken advantage, do that. We want to thank you for tuning in. I'm not sure how many of you were out there today. How many?
14.
14. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, 14 people. Tell your friends. Sign in next time. Bye.